Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Evan Teague. With me, like always, the man who is reprising his roles for Spider-Man 3, Noah Bailey.
Be reprising my role as in or actually at home, depending on when this happens. But
Probably. Who
I
knows?
will be watching.
Who knows?
Unfortunately, I won't be in the movie. Everyone else is apparently.
Yeah. So we are recording this like mere hours before the Disney investor meeting where they're gonna reveal a bunch of new projects and stuff, and right before the Game Awards. But we'll go over all that new information next time. But that's okay. We're playing all the hits today. So, starting with what that intro bit was tied to. Yeah, so I know we've already talked a lot about Spider-Man 3 and how Electro's going to be in it, and Andrew Garfield's going to be in it, and Tobey Maguire's going to be in it, and Venom might be in it, and Doctor Strange is going to be in it. Now, essentially, name any character who has ever been in a Spider-Man franchise movie, probably going to be in it.
Yes,
Just to run down the short list that I have here. Alfred Molina, who played Doc
Doc
Ock,
Ock.
he's going to be in it.
Yeah, like officially.
Okay.
Like wow.
Kristen Dunst, Mary Jane, going to be in it.
All right, we're doing it.
Emma Stone, sure, why not?
And
She
I.
died already, but why bring her back? Why not?
I guess this is pre-splat.
I don't know.
Oh gosh.
There's rumors of at least one Green Goblin coming back. Like
Oh jeez.
it's
They get William Defoe to come back to read
sure.
the Green. That would be crazy.
I like Willem Dafoe. Yeah, why not?
Okay, but at that point, it wouldn't even be the same. Like, I don't even know what's going on at that point. Like, I don't know what's going on with this movie.
So apparently, the rumors are like very mixed on what exactly all entails, what exactly these cameos mean, like what in what capacity these cameos will be. Like some things are saying that Tobey Maguire is still like in final, hasn't even finalized his contract yet. Some people are saying that like it's gonna be a full on Into the Spider Verse like movie. Some are saying that they're just gonna have like short cameo roles.
Hmm.
Although I don't know why you would bring all these characters in if it's just going to be short cameo roles.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't know, because, okay, so my thing is, like, I don't think they're going to go full, like, into like, multiple Spider-Man, because, like,
Mm,
part of me is like, there's no way. Because that would just be kind of ridiculous
yeah.
at this point. And I feel like I don't know how they would somehow make that all work and make it still in the MCU and do all this stuff with literally, three Spider-Man and all these. Like I like the Sinister Six. Yeah, that's I can 100%. I can see that going down.
Mm,
But like, there's no way they can just like I don't know. Like I kind of want them to, but realistically, I realize that's kind of ridiculous because nothing like that's ever happened. I don't think anything like that's really been happened in a
mm.
movie,
No.
like a live action by any means, let alone at this level. But uh, it is possible. But I also because we are in the age of the fans getting what they want, more or less.
Yeah.
Well,
For better or worse. Yeah.
yeah, yes, yes. Other Spider-Man topics, but that's fine. I'm still mad about that.
I
But
honestly don't know if anyone asked for that, but anyway.
no, they didn't. But it's fine. Whatever. But anyway, but yeah, it's like I don't see. I think it would be with the Spider-Man. I think it would be more of a cameo. But as far as like Doc Ock and Electro, I think they'll actually be characters.
Yeah. So here's my theory for how I think this is gonna go. I'm thinking we already know that the Vulture is going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I feel like Mysterio he's
Why not?
coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at that point,
My guess is that um, the Vulture and Mysterio are gonna like team up with whoever else in this Spider-Man universe. Maybe the Tinker, was that like his main like weapons guy in Homecoming? Was that the
Something
guy?
like that.
Yeah, I think his name's
Yeah.
the Tinker. He's not like a
There was
major
like
villain, but
Shocker was one of the
yeah,
guys
Shocker,
too.
sure. Like
So
just
like,
kind of team up with whoever to try to fight Spider-Man. They're gonna realize even them working together isn't enough to stop him, and then I'm feeling like they're gonna like bring their minds together to create some kind of like interdimensional portal thing to bring these other villains in just for
mm,
extra help.
interesting.
And that is why Peter needs to go to get Doctor Strange to try to like plug those holes in reality.
Okay,
Because I've been
I
trying to
like
think
it.
like how does Doctor Strange fit into this? Because I don't agree with the rumors that he's gonna be like the new Tony Stark to Peter, like the new mentor
No,
type.
no.
I don't see Doctor Strange accidentally bringing all these random villains into this dimension. That doesn't make sense to me. But if the villains somehow create, these portals to another dimension, then Peter would need Doctor Strange to help fill them. And maybe like in the climax, Peter or like something happens, and the other two Spider-Man like come from those dimensions to help. They won't be in the whole movie, but they'll at least be in the climax.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that the Mary Jane and oh no,
Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy, yeah, and the Gwen Stacy that will be in this movie will be Mysterio illusions.
Ooh.
Yeah, they won't actually be like because Emma Stone's already dead, so like they'll just be like illusions created by Mysterio to kind of like trick them during the fight.
Okay, there's an idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Interesting.
very easily could be like those two Spider-Men get trapped in this dimension or something. Like and Doctor Strange for some reason couldn't bring them back. I don't know. For some reason they just like hang around here. So to lead into Doctor Strange's movie and then maybe a Spider-Man 4, which is a full-on Spider-Verse event.
This
Maybe.
thing we're doing
Yeah.
is wrong with it at this point. I mean, oh, I'm so worried because like there's so much you could do with this, and everyone. I'm worried everyone's gonna have their. I'm going. It's gonna be kind of like how like the Last Jedi. Everyone has their theories of what's gonna happen, and then everyone's gonna be like, "This wasn't in my fan fiction, so I hate it."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
because
Because
I don't know. This is a lot of speculation. There's so like this and like really Infinity War was like the most speculation like really we've had in a long time.
like I I feel the reason why I say it, I frame it like this, is because I really do feel like Spider-Man 3 will, round out this Peter Parker trilogy. I don't think they would go hard in on a Spider-Verse if this Peter Parker hasn't even really been his own Spider-Man yet. Like
Right.
I think that was me moving a little too fast, uh, especially since what happened at the end of the last movie. We kind of need to follow up on that. It would maybe just be doing a little too much for that to be the entire movie. I
Mm-hmm.
think either an after it still just could be an after credit scene too. Like they could just come in at the very very end of the movie and be like,
That's what I'm
"We're here."
thinking.
Again, setting up for either Multiverse of Madness or Spider-Man 4.
That would be a good like segue into Multiverse of Madness. Though if they just kind of
Yeah.
showed up at the end, they're just like, "What?" He's like, he's like, he could be like on his like little bike, or be like Toby Maguire's on his little bike or whatever. He's just goes like, "Oh, what happened?" Like I don't know. I just be so. No matter what happens, if they're in it at any capacity, people are gonna lose their minds. It's gonna be
Yeah.
crazy.
Like
But
I don't like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, but it would still be cool to see him in this movie.
right, just because this never happens. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, this would be awesome just for him in it. Like, it's 95% Toby, 5% Andrew for I think
Exactly.
most people. But
Exactly.
I mean, Andrew, it's not his fault.
Yeah. It was just a weird. just a weirdly directed, weirdly scripted movie. Like it
Yeah,
wasn't his fault.
yeah. It just made him very like kind of like I don't know how like I watched that recently. He was kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
Like I was getting like episode 2 Anakin vibes
Yeah.
from this guy, and
Exactly.
I was like,
He was like
oh
he admitted to
no.
stalking Gwen Stacy. Like how do you I can't. I don't
And
like
then
this.
she's like, you know what? I do love you. I'm like, how does this always work in movies, but in real life you're on a list? Like, I don't
You're
understand
setting a
that.
bad example for children, Mark Webb. Where do you Andrew Webb,
It
whatever the
really
guy who made
is.
it? Like, come on.
I don't like that. It's like I feel like that you're doing this wrong. But
So that's all fine and good. Like there's a lot of speculation about how exactly these spider people will be in the movie. Another rumor that actually popped up earlier today, at least as far as like I'm concerned, like when I first saw it, was that Charlie Cox. That name mean anything to you?
off the top of my head, no, but I might need to look it up because
Have
I
you
don't
watched
remember.
the Daredevil Netflix show?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Now I got it. Okay.
So
Yeah, isn't that like tossed around for this movie or something?
yes.
Oh
So
my gosh.
last month, at the end of November, Disney got the movie rights back to Daredevil.
Oh god.
So now there's a heavy rumor that Charlie Cox is reprising his role, which is an actual reprisal, literal reprisal. It's not Ned reprising. He hasn't done it for a while. Now he's coming back to do it. He's actually reprising his role as Daredevil, or at least as
Matt Murdock.
Mad Murdock. Yeah, to be
I
his
mean, we
lawyer.
did. I mean, last we saw Spider-Man, he didn't get revealed, so
Yeah.
that could be the whole. Even if it's just for a second, that could be the whole. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let's get him off trial.
Yeah, like he doesn't even need to be Daredevil. Just he just goes to, the Murdoch Lawyer Institute or whatever law firm. Yeah, Murdoch Law Firm. Words are great.
Yeah.
Law firm, and like he doesn't even need to be Daredevil. Just as long as Charlie Cox is Matt Murdock in this movie as his lawyer, that's
No,
cool.
I mean that would be like imagine how funny that would be. Like he's like Happy's like, don't worry, I got you the best lawyer money could buy. And he's like, he can't even see. Like, he's like freaking out.
Well, justice is blind, so doesn't need.
Yeah, he's like, well, this is mine. So he's like, no, no, no. Okay. Hello, sir.
Apparently, according to this one Twitter profile that seems to kind of be in the know about a lot of stuff, like she, it's one of those things where like 5% of the stuff she says doesn't turn out to be true, but most of it turns out to at least like have been talked about at some point.
Mhm.
Uh, Apparently Kevin Feige was tossing around whether or not to bring in Charlie Cox or go ahead and bring in the She-Hulk actress to be the
Ooh.
lawyer. Like either way, they like as long as they understand the only way Peter Parker is getting out of this is if a famous Marvel lawyer helps him in the court of law. Like we all want him to, like the comics. Like that's all we care about. Because yeah, She-Hulk, her alias is a lawyer too, so that makes complete sense.
Right. And we got people, we got doctors and lawyers and people on deck ready to help out.
So yeah, Spider-Man 3. It's. I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if next week we found out that Paul Giamatti's Rhino is coming back for this because why?
Probably for all 5 seconds.
Like,
Oh my gosh. No.
I just need the new trailer. I just need some. I just need to see it. I just need to see it. Like, even if it
Like,
is just like the dumbest part about this is though, I just had this weird train of thought. Even if it is only like the last 20 or 30 minutes of the movie where the other two Spider-Man are in it, all the trailers are going to be just those scenes.
oh, exactly. No, no. I mean, because you've got. I mean, that's got to be the like headliner. That's what the fans are gonna lose their minds about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're gonna like just like, an hour, 15 minutes in, regular Spider-Man movie, and like last 20, 30 minutes. Whoa,
Yep.
what's happening? Oh my gosh!
it's one of those things. I really, really wish Sony was generally better about keeping productions kind of closed off,
Mm-hmm.
or straight up not showing stuff in trailers because, like, like we said before, Baby Yoda came out of nowhere. like, like no one was expecting that. No one,
At all.
like, no production photos, no nothing. No one talked about it. Yeah, he just showed up and we all freaked out.
Yeah.
You know how dumb it would be if just like you're in a theater, like dumb in a good way, like just how just like insane it would be for you to be sitting in a theater and at the and at some point in the movie, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man or Andrew Garfield Spider-Man like came out of nowhere and just started being Spider-Man again.
No, people would like fall out. Like it
Like
would be ridiculous.
I already like screamed for J. Jonah Jameson.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
We got a 30-second cameo of J.K. Simmons was more than like, I mean, that was ridiculous. And like, just imagine if we got like, oh my gosh.
like it would have been cool, but I get that these things happen. Like for example, we found out about Ahsoka being in Mandalorian before that,
Mm-hmm.
like a month before that happened. So that would have been cool to not know ahead of time, but we did, so it's fine. But
Still cool to see it,
yeah,
but
it's
yeah.
very cool to see. It just feels like we're in the day and age of where surprises aren't really possible. Things get leaked.
Yeah.
Things just by way movies are made nowadays. They get spread on Twitter very fast. Like production photos are seen ever. Like it's whatever. It would have been cool, but whatever.
Yeah, it's like the idea of something being in something is hard to keep under wraps, but like how they utilize it is still a surprise, which is good.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, it would be, oh, dude, like, yeah, if that was a surprise, I think everyone would lose their minds. But that would be spoiled in like 5 seconds, though.
Oh yeah.
Like you go on the internet, it's over. Like it.
Mm.
Oh my goodness, like. Every because every single meme for the next 2 months after that movie comes out is gonna be the Spider-Man like pointing meme,
Right.
for everything. Like they have that meme already set up for this moment, and now like people are already putting the different costumes on them and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like they're ready. The meme Reddit is salivating.
Oh yeah. Like even if it is like a full-on Spider-Verse movie for the whole thing, and Doctor Strange is also there, and Daredevil is also there, like that's still a cool movie. I don't even
That's
really
amazing.
like. I can ignore the fact that this Peter Parker hasn't really got to be in his own yet. If it's just a cool movie, I don't care.
Yeah, no, we'll get like he'll be fine. We'll get over it. Like,
Although I
Yeah.
have.
He's like, what about my art? Shut up, kid. We're enjoying the movie.
All yesterday, like my Twitter timeline was just flooded with things that were like, Hayden Christensen is reprising his role for Anakin Skywalker in Spider-Man 3. Like just dumb stuff like that, just like all these different. Donald Glover is reprising his role as Troy from Community in Spider-Man 3.
I would watch that.
Tom Holland is reprising his role as Spider-Man for Spider-Man 3.
I did see a meme like that. It was like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, like whoa, and it was like it was like Electro and Doc. Oh, it's like Tom Holland's like whoa. He's like, what? Oh my god, Tom Holland's gonna be in it. I can't even.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be the
Some
most
fans
epic
will
thing.
complain about the Spider-Man not being overshadowed by other Spider-Man, or not being the movie they want or whatever. But as long as it's a good, fun movie, I don't care.
No, it's just gonna be an awesome Spider-Man movie, which sounds awesome.
Like I really liked Homecoming. I liked Far From Home. They're not exactly comic accurate, but I liked them.
Yeah, and a lot of the movies aren't comic accurate, really. I mean, So it's not really that big a deal. I mean,
Hmm.
and at the end of the day, like I'm not saying common accuracy isn't important. I'm just saying if you can still write it very well, then you can get away with kind
Hmm.
of getting away from the script.
Yeah.
But
Like, for example, Civil War should have had up to 100
everyone,
characters just punching on screen. We had like 12, and it was good.
right? But it was 12 characters we either knew or really invested in, or were new and we were really excited to see more of.
Hmm.
So it worked, because every character on screen, you were kind of at least somewhat interested
Yeah,
as to their motivations.
exactly. Like, it doesn't have to be exactly like the comics in order to be really good. And as long as it's a good movie, it, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm excited. Um, so, just a quick little thing on Black Panther. Currently, if you watch Black Panther on Disney Plus, they have a little like during the Marvel logo. It's a now changed to a Chadwick Boseman tribute, which is
Yeah.
fantastic.
I haven't seen that yet. I need to actually look that up,
Mm.
but I heard it's very
Yeah,
good.
similar to the Stan Lee tribute in Captain Marvel. It's
Hmm.
just like all of Chadwick Boseman's scenes from Marvel and interviews and stuff, and it's nice. Yeah, I I almost don't want to bring this next part up because I don't know how it's actually going to flesh out or if it's actually going to go anywhere, but it feels like a big deal. So I'm just going to talk about it. So, hope I get this name right. Latita Wright, who played Shuri in Black Panther.
Hmm.
Um, she's had some drama surrounding her on Twitter over
I
the
did see
past
that.
week or so. Um, she like retweeted some stuff about like that were like anti-vax memes and like said that she doesn't want to have to take the vaccine before filming Black Panther 2, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of weird. what are your what are your thoughts about all of that?
Yeah, I mean I like her as far as like a person and like a actress, but yeah, that's a little, oh no, it's like I mean, because again, this is the age of social media where everything you post,
Mm,
say, comment, or in this case retweet is magnified and crucified because you're one of the biggest people in the world, whether
yeah,
and it's kind of one of those things where I feel like now's not the time really to be, I don't know, but
yeah. Like there was, I think the
I don't know.
biggest, the most like impactful one would be because obviously like people can have their different opinions and stuff. I am I am like intensely anti-vax. Like if you're an anti-vax, you're one of my least favorite people on the planet, especially now.
But like
like
before it was cool.
yeah. So when she posted some stuff on Twitter about being mad that had to take the vaccine before Black Panther 2 was being filmed, and one person in her comment section says something along the lines of they should just cancel Black Panther 2 now, and she
Ooh.
liked that tweet. So that's the if it was just the anti-vax stuff, like it probably would have blown over. But her retweeting someone saying they should just cancel the movie because of this, that's a little,
Little far.
yeah, I
But
don't know.
I don't know about that. Yeah. Apparently all her social media accounts have been shut down. Or not shut down, but I think it's still like personally deleted. But
Yeah, or at least
yeah,
taken down for
that is
some reason.
that's interesting because up until because again, the only thing anyone was bringing up until recently was like, is she going to be the new Black Panther? Now it's like, oh well,
Are they
ooh,
gonna recast
this
two
could be a
people
problem.
now? Like, what are they doing?
It's like I don't know how this is gonna go. This is I don't know how this is gonna go because she is like a fan favorite character,
Yeah,
but I don't know. This could get dicey. I don't know. There's still time. I mean, Black Panther 2 was ways out anyway,
I think
so it's
22
now
at the
definitely
earliest. Yeah,
right. So now it's like, I mean, at this point, it's on the back burner,
yeah,
but
and
especially with Chadwick Boseman and everything. So now
yeah,
it's like, don't even think about it. But
like, but if it's one of those movies that like could be super pivotal to Marvel stuff going forward because I know so at some point last year there was a heavy rumor that Black Panther 2 was going to be the movie to introduce Doctor Doom,
Hmm.
which could be really cool, or even Namor. I know lots of rumor of that happening in that movie. Like either way, I only want Wakanda to go to war with another huge comic book nation. Like either whether it's Latveria or Atlantis, either one. Just
Hey,
that's
Wakanda
awesome.
just went to war with Thanos.
And
I mean,
itself.
give
Like you
him,
know what?
that is right. And himself. Give them a second to chill. Like,
They have
I want
3 years to
Wakanda.
recover.
They'll be fine. They replenish. That's how replenishing works. Give it 3 years. We're back to full standards.
Like that's just like whoever is the Black Panther, I just feel like this is the kind of movie that could be the vessel for larger Marvel stuff to kind of come in and just work. And if they didn't have a Black Panther 2, that would just be a little disappointing, especially after
Yeah.
just how successful the first one was. That
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, and I know some people, and I know Chadwick Boseman really iconized the role, and I'm not trying to take anything away from that. I mean, obviously he was amazing, but I don't think the movies can't go on. I
yes,
understand not recasting the character, and I'm kind of in agreement with that in terms of like
mm,
Chadwick Boseman's character, but I think as the Black Panther, like it can just be the next in line. That was kind of my personal thought about it, but
yeah. I'm
I
just
don't want to get rid of the movies, no.
I'm still just very curious how they're gonna do it because if they do recast, they won't really have to do much. Just kind of let the audience accept that whoever's playing him will do justice to the role. Which, like you, I don't think I want that. But if they did just have Shuri to show up as the Black Panther, they would need to like have a I don't know. There would need to be something to like tell the audience that the old Black Panther died in between movies without it seeming forced. I don't know. It's I
They
don't
could
know.
find a way to do it. I think it would probably have to be like, I mean, obviously it's going to be a little abrupt because obviously you didn't plan for it. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Like
I think they can make it work. And again, I think that's part that doesn't have to have a perfect explanation because that's one of those things that in the real world we get it. So it's like
yeah.
I don't think that has to be written
I
perfectly.
just don't want them to do it like they did Leia in Rise of Skywalker. That wasn't
Yeah.
done well.
No, that was not. But okay, but to be fair, that was far from the biggest problem of that movie.
It's one of the
But
biggest problems. Like, it's no, that movie has a lot of problems, but that's up there for me personally. Like, just how they did that could have just whatever. We don't have time. It's fine. But I don't want them to kill T'Challa on screen. I think if that would be a bad taste. I think, but also killing him off
yeah,
screen would be a little awkward. I don't know.
yeah. I guess kind of just moving forward, explaining just kind of be like, some they could just like they could have like a news art. You know how like they use news articles to like tell you things that have happened in the past. They could be like with previous king T'Challa with the boom boom, some unfortunate accident or something happening.
Yeah.
You know, Shuri has stepped up as the next person or whatever, or whoever is like takes command for now or whatever. And it's like
Yeah.
that's the best way I could see them doing it. But again, I don't write movies, so I don't
I
know.
mean that seems like the easiest
But
way to do it. Yeah.
right, and again, and I feel like that's one of those things you don't have to write perfectly because again, as an audience in the real world,
Mm,
we get it.
yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
I
Um,
don't know.
I had one other thing to say about that, but moving on. Um, uh, regardless, Black Panther 2 should happen. Whatever they do with Shuri, whatever they do with T'Challa's character, like I'm sure they'll do it as tasteful as possible, and it'll be fine. So, uh, moving on to a little bit of Star Wars stuff. Uh, it's been officially confirmed that the Obi-Wan show has had its production pushed up to January.
Hey,
So we
Goodness.
easily could get it by the end of next year.
Yes. I I need this show in my life. We've been talking about this for so long. Like, I mean, years
Yep.
of just like, we need an Obi-Wan movie. First, it was a movie. Then it was like, no, it's a show. It's like, oh, a show. Because, like, for me, a show is even better because, you can get more in there.
Yeah.
But, like, especially the quality of The Mandalorian's been at, I mean, it's going to be
Yeah. To like
pretty
have Dave
great.
Filoni attached, and you're good.
Yeah, yeah. John Favreau, and Vin Filoni, just give them the keys. It'll be great. Like, it
Hmm.
doesn't even, like,
Like
that's all you need to
we
do.
already have Deborah Cho directing, like being like the showrunner, and she directed some of the better episodes of at least the first season of Mandalorian. I'm not sure if she's done any work on this season, but she's already done pretty good on Star Wars stuff recently. So yeah, just let her have it.
Yeah, I'm excited, and if they do get Hayden Christensen or who, and other people to come back, who knows who it'll
Mhm.
be, but it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
Everyone loves Obi-Wan, so yeah, well, almost everyone.
there's some idiot on Twitter who just doesn't like Obi-Wan for some
I'm sure.
reason.
Yeah, he's like, I hate his beard. What? Like, I don't.
Maybe you hate the beard.
Jeez, you can take a nap in that thing. Have you seen that? Like, you kidding me?
Cozy.
What's wrong with you? Oh
So
god.
yeah, like that's exciting. Like literally any reason to feel good about keeping Disney Plus around, Star Wars is gonna do it for me. So
Yep. 100%. So excited. Oh.
now, moving on to some Warner Brothers stuff. So I know we talked either last time or a couple of podcasts ago that Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be coming to HBO Max at the same time as theaters, but then
Right.
leave HBO Max and still be in theaters. That's all confusing. Maybe they'll explain that better when it actually comes to the time. I don't
Will
know.
they though?
No, they won't. But we know that Wonder Woman is coming to HBO Max in some capacity at the same time as it will be in theaters. Warner Brothers has also confirmed that every Warner Brothers movie is coming to HBO Max. Every single 2021 Warner Brothers movie is coming to HBO Max.
Yep.
Same day as in theaters. We got Dune, The Suicide Squad, Mortal Kombat, Tom and Jerry, Matrix 4, Godzilla, King of Monsters. Sorry, Godzilla versus King Kong. Keep doing that. Godzilla versus King Kong. And more coming to HBO Max same day.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because to me it's like I understand like at the current point that like obviously we don't know when things are going to go back to like standard movies and stuff. Obviously it could be a hot minute, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean some of these movies are almost like a year out,
Yep, Dune is coming out next
and you're already
October.
just like,
October.
yeah, and it's already just like, you know what? We're gonna throw in the towel. We're just gonna only on HBO. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, like Tom and Jerry. Yeah, sure. Put that on HBO Max. People weren't gonna
Should
see
have
that in
been there in
theaters
the first
anyway.
place. Yeah.
No, you're right. Correct. Like that. No, do a scoop with them. Like
Yeah.
that. They'll be fine. But no, like, like I was already on the fence with Wonder Woman, but now it's just all intents and purposes, just everything going forward is on HBO Max. It's like, all right, man, I mean, if that's how you want to do it.
They
Like,
had to have gotten some kind of like how much money did Warner Brothers give to all these production studios to make them feel justified in losing out on potential movie business to have it be streamed on the streaming service for free? That's so weird.
no idea. I don't. Because really, it's like, why? You don't get much from that. Like, you just kind of, I mean, especially since they're, like, at least if it's following the suit of Wonder Woman, they'll all be free on HBO Max. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, so I could potentially go to, you know, if my local movie theater is even open right now, I could do that. And pay like what, $15 a ticket,
Yeah.
for me and all my friends, or one of us can just get, get HBO Max, and then, me and all my friends can just watch it together
Yeah.
multiple times. Like,
They're losing out on like they have to have somehow account for that. Like I know part of it is that they're well, at least Wonder Woman right now is seemingly going to be unavailable with the free trial, which that makes sense.
Smart.
It sucks. That's how I was planning on watching it, but whatever. But it is a smart business decision for them to do that. So I guess these movie studios are gonna like get a cut of the fee of people who specifically watched Suicide Squad, for example. Like if you watch Suicide Squad the month it comes out, a cut of your HBO Max fee for that month will go to them. Maybe just like a flat upfront. Here's some money to even it out. I don't know.
I guess, but like, still, I don't know, cause like, it like I mean I don't we don't know all the factors going into this, but this feels just like a very kind of I guess a kind of just early move with all these movies going forward, and like.
Yep.
I understand, maybe they're going to try to start the trend of movies only be on HBO Max and effectively bankrupting movie theaters going forward, but
Yeah. Like
still,
that could be this could be Warner Brothers' idea is to kind of jump in front of of the streaming game. Like go ahead and like acknowledge that movie theaters can't be around forever. This pandemic kind of proved that they have their flaws. Like if something like this happens, movie theaters are very susceptible to getting shut down or temporarily closed or whatever, just because people don't feel safe going to movies, but they feel safe staying at home. So we'll essentially go back to what HBO was originally. Like HBO literally stands for home box office. So it'd be like we have the home box office readily available. Let's just pioneer this, at home movie industry. I think that could work. I don't know.
just do it, and yeah, be the pioneers. Will it be successful? We'll see. But
It just
I feel like maybe I guess you're double downing, but I mean, I don't know. It's a little bit of a risky move. It could potentially pay off. I don't see it personally paying off that well, but I also get that like just having movies on the shelf forever is probably not the best idea either. But I don't know.
I don't know. Like it especially sucks because a lot of these movies deserve to be seen in theaters.
Absolutely.
Godzilla versus King Kong, that needs to be seen in theaters.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen both I've seen both Godzilla movies on a 32-inch TV. They look good. Like I liked them. I got the impact of what was happening. But if I'm watching Godzilla versus King Kong, these two titans just beating the crap out of each other, I want to see that on as big a screen as possible.
Right? Up close and personal. Like, right up there. Like, seriously. And, like, yeah, like, the movie theater experience, I mean, it's not so much about, like, I can only see it at the movies, but it's, like, the camaraderie with, like, other fans of what you're watching, and also, like, and just, like, the immersion. It's super dark. You've got the gigantic screen. The surround sound is always kicking. Like, and I know obviously it's gonna be a while, but like, yeah, movies like I feel like half of the like movies like Avatar and stuff like that. I feel like half the reason those movies make as much money as they do is because it's in theaters. I feel like you put that movie on a TV, it loses most of its flair. Unless your TV is like $1,000, that it's like it's probably not gonna look that great.
Unless you have like the Bruce Wayne from Lego Batman, like huge, like in mansion theater, like it's not happening.
Right? That won't have the same effect.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I personally I don't think this is a good move. I said the same thing I said about Wonder Woman. I don't think that's a good move right now because again, people are gonna just watch it once. And then probably just like, oh, okay, that was cool. Because it's not going to have the same effect as if it's in the theater.
Yep.
This is easily $1 billion movie as is. Could be $2 billion if it's the first movie back. So I've always been a fan of, better wait and get your full investment than wait, than be, greedy and impatient and get waste money. But
Yeah, like
we'll see.
especially for stuff like Matrix 4.
Yeah, that too.
People have waited since 2003 for a new Matrix movie.
Right? And like we talked about, like the stock, Keanu Reeves' stock right now is like as high as possible.
Yes.
So I mean,
He's
people
only
who don't
gotten
haven't even seen The Matrix are gonna watch it just for
he's
Keanu.
gotten infinitely more popular since 2003
Yes.
that like we want to see him and Lawrence Fishburne again, fighting crime in a sci-fi setting. Like that's so cool. Like just think of how much money Jurassic World made. 1.6 billion dollars. And that movie isn't even good.
But it had a franchise people love. They did it well, and they got a lead character who had already been pretty much loved by pretty much everybody,
Yeah.
unless you thought ask Twitter the last couple of weeks. But I
Well,
mean, who
whatever.
cares what they think?
That'll blow over. Whatever.
We regular people love Chris Pratt, so real humans
so
do.
like,
So
I feel like they can delay this movie another year. People aren't people. Like I said, we've already waited since 2003. We can wait a little bit longer to see Keanu Reeves as the one on the big screen again. Like that just, I don't know.
it needs to be on the. You're right. I think it
Yeah.
needs to be in the
If for
movies
no other
'cause
reason than just Warner Brothers making money, like this, this is, like you said, a potentially a $2 billion movie if it's in the right place at the right time. The right place is not in your living room
no,
for them to make that much money.
no, not at all. For you to maybe get HBO Max for a month, like
Yeah.
because I mean, 1 month of HBO Max is one movie ticket basically,
Hmm.
and you
And
can
yeah,
have
like
as
you said,
many people.
if you have 9 people in your house, hopefully safely because of stuff happening. Like if you have 9 people safely in your house watching this one movie that only one person paid $15 for, you're not making as much money.
Right? But I mean, it was probably their parents' account anyway because they want to watch Downton Abbey or whatever else is on HBO Max. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But,
Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm probably gonna get HBO Max eventually, especially after the Harley Quinn season 3 and Young Justice season 4 come out. Whether that's before or after Snyder Cut, I'm not sure. Um, but I'll definitely get it eventually. I don't know if I'll keep it around. I'll probably just like keep it for the stuff I want to watch, then drop it, and then come back if there's something else I want to watch and drop it. But like if I have it when one of these movies drops, I might as well watch it here. I don't
right?
I don't need to go to a theater to see Suicide Squad if I can just turn on my TV here and watch Suicide Squad.
That's true. And I mean, they're not. And again, I don't. I think I like that they're not doing the whole Mulan thing where they're putting an up charge on it
Mm-hmm.
for first of all, $30 is not.
That
How
movie is
dare
free
you? But I
right
mean,
now on Disney Plus. You could watch that movie right now for free. I want to at some point so bad. It looks so just.
I don't. I really
I
don't.
It looks like the kind of movie that I need to watch because of how bad it is.
I don't, I just don't want to, because it's going to taint how I see Mulan. I can feel it. It's going to point out flaws worse than
No,
they,
well, it's a completely different movie, so it'll only make the first one look better.
it's going to just be so bad. Like, I don't, it's going to make me see it in a worse light, because it's like, no, I don't want to, because, it's like, when you got an A average, and then you just throw in like a 72, like, you still have an A, but like,
Yeah.
it slightly just kind of diminishes the, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, this Mulan is a lot lower than a 72. But yeah.
This is true. This is true. I was being generous.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with this, but again, not my problem. I'm just gonna pretend it's not on Disney Plus.
Like, it would probably make them more money if they put Dune and Suicide Squad and whatnot, for at least a $10-$20 fee. But at least they're not. I don't know.
I don't know. People wouldn't. I mean, I feel like less people would watch it. That's for sure. Because I mean, something's like people are the kind of people who will pay they'll pay oh yeah, let me buy a $20, $30 meal. But it's like, oh, you want to pay $1.99 for this thing? It's like, what? No, that's an outrage. Like, you probably put that on something else, they wouldn't even notice. But
Yep.
like when it's on something they assume they've already paid for, they freak out.
Hmm.
But $30 is
Too
first of all,
much.
that was disgusting, dude. I was like, I can't believe they did that.
Like, I would watch Black Widow for 20, not Mulan for 30. Come on.
No, not at all. Like, not at all. Like 20, I can make the argument for a movie everyone wants to see, not Mulan.
Mm,
For a movie everyone wants to see, feels like they need to see, and will get spoiled if I don't see it. You can't spoil Mulan; it's already happened. So
exactly.
there's that.
I
It's
am
like,
very interested if Wonder Woman actually ends up doing well. If these other movies, come out earlier next year and still do well, what do you think are the chances that Disney will start throwing their movies on Disney Plus at the same time as theaters and try to copy them?
I think because of the nature of competition, they would, but I don't think they would have to because the thing about HBO Max is for those people, the first time they ever use HBO Max is going to be when Wonder Woman comes
Exactly.
out. People have had Disney Plus for a year already.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
you know,
75 million people just have Disney Plus. Like they're but also people one Black Widow is one of those movies that, people have been desperately wanting since 2010, and like I think people would be willing to risk it to go to a theater to watch that movie
yes.
in May. I think Disney knows that.
And that's kind of my thing. I think they might put it on both. Well, here's my what if they put it on both. It's like $15, so like the same price as ish a movie ticket.
Yeah.
And if theaters are more, things kind of die down a little bit. Because again, maybe this summer we could finally kind of get back to normal ish,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. And if that happens, who knows? But we'll
But
see.
what if Disney does that and then AMC tries to blacklist them like they did Universal?
Oh, that's on AMC. They're just gonna get destroyed. I mean, like that.
Not my
You
problem.
can't. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like you put it in theaters. It's gonna like people are gonna show it. Like
Yeah.
AMC, if you want to be that guy, you're digging your own grave. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like, it's going to happen regardless. It's Disney. It's a Marvel movie. Get out of the way.
yep. So yeah, I don't think Disney is gonna cave that fast. Like I think they know they're gonna make black money on Black Widow regardless of how they show it. So they might as well just put it on theaters like it was originally intended to do.
Right.
Like
And I feel like that does Scarlett the right way too, because
exactly.
she deserves it. This isn't, Iron Man 4 or whatever at this point. We're like,
Mm,
okay, we get it. We know he's
yeah,
awesome. It's like, this is her movie now.
exactly. So yeah, we'll see if there's we'll see how all that pans out after Wonder Woman. In January, how like once Wonder Woman is no longer on HBO Max, which I still don't understand why that works that way, but whatever. We'll see how it pans out for how it'll work for them. So now moving on to a new little segment that I like to call Snide Snyder Snarks.
Oh, dear.
So
We're doing this.
yes, we're doing this. Either last time or the time before. No, it was like last like major podcast.
It was.
I made a bet on this channel that if the Snyder Cut comes out and makes Batman v Superman a good movie, and I actually think after watching the Snyder Cut in its entirety that that the Man of Steel Superman trilogy whatever is actually good and Snyder is a good director, I would personally go through every single Nerd Nook video on this channel and delete them. So, might as well just get out everything that I have to say about Snyder while I can. Even if it means I have to delete this video too, I'll take it.
I mean, let's be honest. Are you really going to have to delete anything?
No.
I don't think so. But again, anything's possible. You're a man of your word. I respect
Yeah.
that.
Like, I might, maybe after watching that movie, I might go back and be like, you know what? Snyder killing Jimmy Olsen in the first 5 minutes of BVS was a good idea. What? Why?
Why?
Who in their right mind would think that introducing and then immediately killing off Superman's best friend in the comics, this pivotal DC character? Who thought that was a good idea? Who thought just killing him off in the first 5 minutes, immediately after introducing him? Who thought that was a good idea? What? I like, it's one of those things where, like, I was just sitting at work like a week or two ago, just sitting there at work one day, and that thought just popped into my head. It's like, Jimmy Olsen was in that movie. They killed Jimmy Olsen for no reason in that movie. Like,
it didn't even have to be. It could have been anybody. Like, they could have just been like, "Oh, I'm just some spy. I'm just some dude. I'm just another employee." Like, it could have been any nameless person.
He wasn't even named in the theatrical cut of the movie. He didn't introduce himself as Jimmy if you're watching the theatrical cut of the movie. Zack Snyder thought so little of one of Superman's most important characters that in the cut that he deemed worthy to put in theaters, he didn't even name him.
I just...
And also, if you, like... I was talking with this about my brother the other day. If you're just looking at Jimmy Olsen from the comics, he's very recognizable. Green vest, orange hair. Even if he doesn't wear the vest, like, just the, just the way, just like the vibe that Jimmy Olsen gets
off. The camera.
Yeah, just everything
about him. Watch or whatever.
Yeah, is very recognizable. Even the Jimmy Olsen from Smallville just looked like Jimmy Olsen. Like, you showed that to anybody, like, what comic book character does this guy present to you? And he's like, oh, that looks like Jimmy Olsen. Like, it's so obviously Jimmy Olsen. And then if you look at Jimmy Olsen from BVS, he's just some guy.
He looks like an extra in American Sniper. Yeah. It's just kind of like... And I know that's kind of how just this movies are going for. I get it.
But why make him a CIA agent? Why?
Because...
Like, Zack Snyder just forgot to introduce Jimmy Olsen in Man of Steel. So he was like...
Forgot.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So he's like, okay, I'm going to still use this character, but in a way that defies expectations, and then kill him immediately after. I don't get it. I don't understand. And, like, in a movie, I feel like it could work in a movie like this to have one of the pivotal character moments in this movie would be to have something horrible happen to Superman's best friend, Jimmy Olsen. Like, Jimmy Olsen dies, you get captured or something, and that could, like, set Superman off, or, like, thematically that could be very interesting. But the problem is, Superman never even spoke to this. I don't even think he ever saw Jimmy Olsen.
Does he even? I mean, in this universe, for all we know, Jimmy Olsen he doesn't even know who Jimmy Olsen is.
Yeah. He just shows up next to Lois Lane, getting to that movie, be like, "Hi, I'm Jimmy Olsen," and then terrorists shoot him in the face, and then he's forgotten about. That scene only exists to show how bad the terrorists are, because I guess you need to
prove you're a terrorist.
And also just for Zack Snyder to feel himself be like, hey, I'm so smart. I use this character that is in the comics that I know because I read one comic. I use that character name. Praise me. I know. I didn't do it right. Comics. See, Jimmy Olsen. He was in the movie.
I can use Wikipedia too. Ooh, like, good for you.
Like, if killing Jimmy Olsen is what then caused, oh my goodness, I can write these movies so much better than this idiot. I'm sorry. Like, if in Man of Steel, Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen actually, like, formed a relationship, and actually like work together on something and actually like were friends. And then in the beginning of this movie, Jimmy Olsen got in over his head and was killed by terrorists, and that set Superman off, and he started killing people willy nilly. You wouldn't even need the KGBs there to stage him killing people. He would just do it out of sheer rage, and then that would then snowball into him feeling like he needs to use his power. Like feel like he's being irresponsible with his power. More reason for Batman to not like him because he's clearly deranged. Like it could work, but no. He just dies for no reason. I don't get it. Do you?
Yeah, I don't really. No, I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things that he kind of just do. Like, it's just he's a very that's not. It feels like a very do stuff just to do stuff kind of person. So like, why is Jimmy Olsen here? Because I want Jimmy Olsen as a character in this. But are you going to use him right? No. Are you going to make him important? No. Is anything other than his name even going to be irrelevant at all? No.
No.
And it's just like, but it's like name dropping when no one asked you to. It's like, oh yeah, I work for, it's like, oh yeah, I had this character. It's like, I mean, I guess you could technically call anyone Jimmy Olsen. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you could have put a monkey with a camera and said that's Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
And then, oh, I used his name, so
like,
I'm not saying the actor looks like a monkey or anything. No disrespect, obviously, but
like in the credits of that movie, there's one of those scientists that Lex talked to at some point when he was talking about their kryptonite. One of those scientists is the name of the guy who created Metallo. I'm like, that's cool, but
we're not gonna follow him anyway.
He's not gonna be in a future movie. Metallo isn't showing up, so you have a named DC character in your movie just to have it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, and I hate that. It's like, that's so much wasted potential. Because again, Metallo is an antagonist of Superman that could that could be like a softball-ish guy to throw in before you get a Doomsday or something. You know what I'm saying?
He would have actually worked as a pretty decent villain for this movie. But no, he made a Doomsday.
Didn't even do it right. And I guess the thing that bothers me about doing Doomsday wrong is Doomsday is not a hard character.
No,
Doomsday is not a difficult character. It's
a big gray unkillable monster who has like spikes. He doesn't talk. He doesn't do anything aside from kill random civilians and fight Superman. That's baseline, and they still did it wrong.
You had to do that wrong. It's so you don't have to. You don't have to write him any lines. He doesn't have to have any banter, nothing clever. He doesn't need a plan. It's just I'm gonna kill everything, and then that's it. That is it. He kills stuff. He's basically invincible, but yeah, that's the deal.
But because Man of Steel, the climax of Man of Steel had Superman and Zod destroying an entire city, killing thousands of people, he had to go out of his way in BVS to try to cater to the critics and say everywhere that they fight is abandoned. And I'm like, that's so dumb. Whatever. I can't. I feel good about my bet here. It's not happening.
I mean,
the Snyder Cut is not making BVS a good movie.
No, I mean, I don't. Again, we cover this every time, but I'm gonna say it again because I want to say it every time I feel like saying it. But the problem's not adding new characters to a movie that's flawed with the characters it already has. So unless they just completely rewrite it, which I'm pretty sure won't happen because Zack Snyder's gonna it's not the themes, it's not the villain, it's not the colors of the costumes. Mm-hmm. It's the characters, how they're written, how characters are either wasted, done incorrectly, or just not even necessary. Mm-hmm. And all of it, do you really think a football scene is really going to be the difference in Justice League?
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, I like football, but I don't really think a Cyborg or Victor Stone having a football scene is going to make me like the character, or especially if he's just kind of bland. Like I get the thing is he's a half robot, but he has a very big personality. That's the idea. And when you make him just a robot, basically, it kind of ruins that. But
Yep,
that's okay.
yep.
It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
Children.
Oh,
I love it how like children's cartoons can make like characters better than like
yep.
$1 billion or $1 million, $100 million movie projects. But
Because Snyder
not
doesn't
my
know what he's
call.
doing. He just wants to make a serious
He's
movie for
just
no
a
reason.
guy who realizes that he's a guy who makes movies that realizes that superheroes are the big ticket right now.
Yes.
That is it. He's not anyone. He's not a. He doesn't like superheroes. He doesn't think superheroes are cool. He wants to take the heroes, mold them to however he wants them to look, cash in because people like the names, even though he's just putting his names on his own P characters he's writing himself, and then just throwing it in there, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, it's Batman," so I love it. And it's like,
He is
no,
so
just
good
because
at surface level interpretations of characters. Like 300, I don't like that movie, but that was like a perfect movie for Zack Snyder to adapt because all that comic is a bunch of half naked strong guys beating up other half naked strong guys. That's the entire 300 graphic novel. That's all you need.
It's because it's a cookie cutter movie because it's like, all right, conflict already presented, characters don't need names.
Yep.
You need to name one person pretty much. You need Leonidas, and everyone else is just other Spartans.
Yeah.
Like 299 plus. Like that's all you need.
Yep.
Like no one cares, and that's it. There doesn't need to be any really smart writing. It's just let's kill each other for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And
Conflict,
they did it.
Like there's a fight scene, a little bit of downtime, a big speech, conflict, big speech, conflict, into movie.
Yeah, basically. And again, that's simple, that's easy, and again, he can do the like scenes. They'll make them look good.
Yeah.
And that's what matters in that kind of movie. Because in that movie, no one cares about. Oh, but I don't know I don't really know how the drama between the fight soldiers. Like no one cares. People just want to see people impale each other.
Exactly.
Like that's all we're here for. Like.
There's no characters to get or even get wrong in that movie. Whereas with Batman, he shouldn't shoot people with guns.
That's not how
just change that about him.
No, it's not even the shooting people. The actively running over goons with the Batmobile is just the most like, how dare you?
He just barrels straight into a docked ship for no reason and just destroys it. Like that ship that wasn't even in your way. You drove into that.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's not like he's like, oh well, if Batman, it's like, oh if Batman blows up and people have to be in there, it's not really his fault. It's like, hey,
what?
yes. First of all, because in the eyes of the law, you're still going to jail. B, Batman wouldn't do that because Batman's smart enough to realize he doesn't make mistakes like, oops, I didn't know they were going to be. You know what I'm saying? That's not stupid. And C, that's not how. If any other adaptation of Batman, yes, I know in some of the movies, Batman does kill people, but first of all, any recent adaptations in the last, I'd say, 20 years, Batman doesn't kill anybody and makes a huge deal about it to a fault, which is one of his biggest character issues. It's in a good way, and that's kind of like, and I mean character as in like personal character, not as a character.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel very much like Zack Snyder's like, I want superheroes, but I feel like Zack Snyder should have just done The Boys. Instead of just that's what I think.
Like
because
The Boys is essentially like it really does feel like what if Zack Snyder directed. Yeah.
Right?
It really does feel like a deconstruction of a Zack Snyder movie, and like it works because of that, because you already have a baseline for these dark and edgy superheroes under Zack Snyder. So like we're just gonna do that, take it to a logical extreme, actually make them evil. And there's your movie, or there's your show, and it's actually pretty good.
It works.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The problem isn't so much that, oh, this is a terrible... Like, I mean, not get me wrong. I still think the writing's pretty bad. But the reason that it's terrible is because you're rewriting characters that already have this incredibly long lineage of how they're supposed to be done, and you're just completely ignoring it.
Like,
that's why it's like basically heresy.
Jimmy Olsen, literally the only two things you need to get right about Jimmy Olsen are that he is Superman's best friend. Because of the second one, he works at the Daily Planet. Those are
Yeah.
the only two things, or at least a reporter in some capacity. Those are the only two things. You can change up his race. You can change up his hair color. You can make him a girl. I don't care. Like
Yeah,
Janet
honestly,
Olsen,
yeah. Like
whatever.
I think Jimmy's one of those characters that like you could basically. And again, I know I just ragged on him for looking like an extra in American Sniper, but like again, it's one of those characters that you could pretty much like you can change most of the things about him as long as you get the essential stuff right.
Yeah,
But
as
it's
long as
when you
the
miss
vibe
the
is right.
essential stuff,
Yeah.
which at this point is like, this is layups. Like all you have to do is give him a camera and and give him or like he just works for Day Plan. He's not a international undercover spy for some reason.
Yeah.
Only to like, oh wow, okay, maybe this will be interesting if they follow up with and Jimmy Olsen's dead.
Like he had a camera, but inside of it was a recording device for some reason.
I
Like,
mean, I just
what?
I guess it's just annoying because it's like, why would you go all the effort to make Jimmy Olsen a spy just to get him shot in like 2 seconds?
It would have
It
been
was
kind of
like-
interesting if he was in Man of Steel as just Jimmy Olsen, and then he was revealed to be a spy in a later movie. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah, I'd give that something, but it's like you made him a spy just for him being a spy. It served no purpose in the movie other than just to add a line to it. Like there was no
Yeah.
reason for that even to happen.
I don't even think his name was mentioned, or the fact that there was a spy was mentioned in any of the scenes where the government was involved in the rest of the movie. Like, he was just there just to be there. I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's kind of what bothers me. It's like, again, and it's like they name him Jimmy Olsen, like it feels like after the fact. It's like, was this guy even Jimmy Olsen? Did you just want to, you felt smart to throw a name to a face? So it's like, hey, this is a comic book character. He's from a Superman mythos. Let's just throw his name on there. It's like, oh, you want to make him Lobo next? Like, I mean,
Why not? Why not?
like, what are you doing? I don't know. It's just, I don't know, it's stuff like that that's just kind of like, why would you do that? Like, but
I don't know. Like, it might not be every week, but from now until the Snyder Cut comes out, periodically, I'm just gonna pick out one little part of BVS or Man of Steel, and just like, just complain about it because I can. I like doing that. So, moving on to another nerd news. It's time for some weird game news. So, did you, as a kid, even grown up, whatever, did you ever collect any Pokemon cards?
personally, no. Because I was not allowed to have Pokemon cards,
Fair
even
enough.
though my mom swears that wasn't a rule, but it totally was.
Exactly. Yep.
But continue.
So, I don't even know where to start with this because this story is so weird. Okay, so you know the Pokemon Kadabra?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Small form of Abra, pre-evolution of Alakazam.
Alakazam.
Yep. So, if you were a Pokemon card collector, since the beginning, there is a fairly high chance that you just wouldn't have any Kadabra Pokemon cards. They stopped making them in I think 2000, 2001. And Kadabra hasn't been used in any marketing, or I don't even think he's been in the show since. Because there was a man named Uri Geller, who was a famous sidekick from the late 90s, early 2000s, who his thing is that he's a mentalist that can bend spoons. And Kadabra's Japanese name, I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but his Japanese name is clearly at least inspired by Uri Geller, which, especially for Generation 1 Pokemon, that wasn't exactly a new concept. Like, we have Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Both their English and Japanese names are named after famous martial artists. So, that was just kind of a thing in Gen 1 to name Pokemon after famous people. So, yeah, Kadabra was clearly inspired by Uri Geller. Well, Uri Geller didn't like that and felt like Nintendo was infringing on his intellectual property of being a guy that can bend spoons. So he sued Nintendo or Game Freak or whatever, or the Pokemon. He sued somebody in charge over at Pokemon, and essentially they settled by saying like, we'll just stop using Kadabra in any marketing material or any cards or show. Like, we'll just stop. He'll still be in the games, but as far as like outside of that, we'll stop using this character.
Interesting.
So come 20 years later.
Oh, this is more. Okay.
About a week ago, Uri Geller just kind of just posted on Twitter, "Hi, I'm sorry, Nintendo, you can use Kadabra now. My bad." Just randomly, after 20 years, just decided, I'm not mad anymore. Have fun with this character. I'm allowing you to use this Pokemon and stuff now.
1,000 Pokemon later where they don't really need to, but alright.
Like, what changed? Like, why? Why wait so long? You haven't been relevant in like 18, 20, almost 20 years, and now all of a sudden you decide that you don't care about this anymore. It's so weird.
It could have been one of those things where he was hoping they would like pay him to get the rights or something.
Yeah.
And he was kind of just waiting on that and waiting on that.
He forgot about that, and then 10 years later, it's like, oh, I never finalized that. So yeah, just here you go, whatever.
Yeah, you're a guy. Like, water under the bridge, right? Nintendo's
Sure.
Like, no.
So yeah, if you ever got into Pokemon card collecting, there's a chance that in the future Kadabra could be in your collection.
Which means if you currently have one of the old Kadabras from like 2000, that's probably going to be worth something.
Probably, yeah.
So, hop on that.
Mm-hmm.
Get your card sleeves.
I have like a whole basket. I know I have a lot of like base set stuff from the early 2000s. I might want to check to see if I have a Kadabra. I wouldn't be surprised if I did. I wasn't like a huge Pokemon card collector, but over the years I did obtain a pretty sizable just amount, just kind of for Christmas presents and stuff, and people just buying me because when you're a kid, they're like, oh, he likes Pokemon, we'll just get him Pokemon stuff, and he's got a lot of cards.
Throw some booster packs in the bin.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Big suckers, let's go.
Yeah, at some point I'll check to see if I have any of those. So, and some more weird game news. You know that Avengers game that we were supposed to be excited about?
Yeah.
So, I'm a little late on this news, but I still think it's relevant, especially since it didn't get any Game Awards. It didn't get
no nominations or anything.
No nominations. No, not even best ongoing game. It just wasn't.
Just not.
Wasn't there. Apparently, as of the end of October, the Avengers video game sold only 3 million units worldwide.
Oof. Worldwide?
Yep.
Oof.
A game.
That is rough.
Based on the franchise that currently has the 5th most popular movie of all time, money-wise, and the first most popular movie monetary-wise in Avengers, Infinity War, and then Endgame, respectively. Not adjusting for inflation, obviously. Some of the most popular movies in the history of the world could only sell 3 million units in 2 months.
Well, it's because, like, going in, we were hearing all these problems about it. You don't play as who you want to play as. And they don't get the movie people, which makes sense, because very rarely do you get actual movie people for video games.
Sure. But they did get Troy Baker, Nolan North, Laura Bailey. Like, they got all of the super heavy hitter voice actors
This is
actors
true. This is true.
and they just couldn't, like, I don't even care that you could play as Kamala Khan. I think she's a fun character, but you're marketing this as the Avengers game. I don't even think she's
Right?
on like the box art. The box art has, the main lineup of Avengers with Captain America in the center, even though you don't play as him for most of the game. Like, they all look bad. They still look bad. I don't understand how the same company, like the same, at least like publishing studio, Square Enix, who made Final Fantasy VII, one of
Mm.
the most gorgeous games of all time.
The game looks better than real life.
Yeah, like it's
Straight
still
up.
stylized, but it still looks fantastic. And then you have the Avengers. Like their face looks melty. I don't get like
You
like
know what
Thor's
it is,
hair looks
right?
like a wet mop. I don't get it.
You know what it is, though. It's because they didn't take 10 years to make it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And
They need to. I think Square is showing that maybe they need to take their time with their products.
like it's so weird how a game Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch, on the Nintendo Switch, looks better because it is stylized to look like a comic than a game on the Xbox. Well, it's going to be on the Series X coming up soon.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's still going to look like that. How does that? How? I don't get it. I don't, like I don't know. Like a part of me feels like they deserve only this 3 million, and those that number easily could be a lot higher since October, like the holiday season and whatnot. It easily could be 4 or 5 million, but any number less than a baseline of 10 million for an Avengers game they've been trying to hype up for over 3 years now. That's bad.
Yeah, and it sucks because I mean, yes, they a little bit missed the timing with Avengers hype because maybe like this would have been the perfect game, ideally between Infinity War and Endgame maybe,
Mm,
but like, or maybe right before Infinity War, but like,
I would say I would say like holiday after Infinity War. Yeah,
okay, yeah, probably because then people are like, oh, does this have anything to do with movies? And it's like, no, no, this is just the game, but yeah,
still,
I
if
think
you're
that would have been good too.
you still want to play these characters that potentially died. So like, yeah,
Yeah, it's like R.I.P. But I mean,
yeah,
but yeah, I just think that like not being able like I haven't actually seen or played this game because there's just no interest, which is because at first I thought it was just me because I was just kind of like, is anyone else just not really feeling this? And it was not just me; it was
yeah.
pretty much everybody. I was like, oh,
Even
cool,
people who like the game don't love it.
they get it.
They don't
I
love it,
see.
but they like it. And you're just fighting robots. Like I like fighting robots, but when I'm playing the Avengers, I want to do more than just fight robots. You're just boring, dispensable enemies. Like it's cool that there's one boss fight between Hulk and Abomination. That's awesome. But then there's not a lot outside of
Else?
that. It's
Yeah,
like MODOK is a fantastic villain, but it just doesn't like when the vast majority of the game are fighting random AIM soldiers and robots. By the time I actually get to something cool, I'm kind of burnt out already. I just don't
yeah.
care.
It feels more like it's like a chore game. It's
Yeah,
like doesn't. You're not playing it because it's fun. You're playing it because you feel like you have to. It's
yeah.
like I don't really want to do
Like at least in
that.
Ultimate Alliance 3, yes, there is. It is a very similar format where you're just fighting waves and waves of expendable enemies, but at least the enemy types are varied, and your attacks generally feel more powerful, and you can do combo attacks. Like it's just very, it just feels more fluid, and like I feel I just feel for what I've seen of the Avengers game, it just feels like a better experience than that game. I don't know. Like maybe after a year or two of them patching it, adding new characters. Like I know uh, Kate Bishop is coming to it soon,
Hmm.
and I'm sure other characters are going to be added eventually. But hopefully either the sequel or after a couple of years it just kind of gets better. I don't know. Any more thoughts about Avengers before we move on?
Just kind of disappointment. But I mean, maybe they'll learn from this, and make another one. But I think Square won't be back. I don't know, but
Oh yeah,
I think they should stick to the. I don't know. Maybe they should stick to more Final Fantasy games. I don't know, but
yeah. Actually, finish 7 and then make sure 16 is good. Like, yeah. So, last little bit of weird game news. Oscar Isaac has been tapped to star in the Metal Gear movie.
mm,
This man is on a tear. Like,
he's doing a lot, isn't he?
he was obviously, in Star Wars. He's going to be one of the main characters in the Dune remake. He's going to be Moon Knight. Like,
Hmm.
now he's either Solid Snake or some major character in the Metal Gear movie. Like, that's
He's making moves. He's upset. I mean, you think about it. He's upset. Star Wars kind of, in a sense, not as much as John Boyega. We kind of hung him out to dry. And then, X-Men Apocalypse was that wasn't exactly a big winner. So,
no.
he's trying to get out there.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Like, I think a Metal Gear movie is something that is just generally going to be very hard to pull off because
Yes.
Metal Gear Solid franchise is insane because Hideo Kojima is, the head of that and he's a maniac. like I don't think that franchise could really survive on its own without him. There's a little pun in there if you caught on to that, because they made that game Metal Gear Survive, which is a weird zombie survival game, and it was garbage without him. Uh, so, and also the story of those games is so, like, on the surface level, you're playing as like a spy guy, like a cool spy guy, who shoots people with rocket launchers and kicks people. Like, that's on the surface, sure, a lot of movies are like that. But then you got cloning, you got giant robots, you got aliens sometimes, you got like weird mind control, you got like you actually playing as one character, but really it's a different character. Like, this just
Too much.
yeah. So I'm wondering if they'll just try to adapt one for one the game, or if they'll try to essentially do a brand new story. I don't know. I don't think it'll be good, but I think it could be very interesting.
We'll see. It could be something, but I'm a little concerned. I don't know. I just kind of get a concern whenever game movies are kind of just happening in general because, a lot of times what makes the game so great is, hard to put. It's the same kind of thing with like things that are animated trying to be made into live action. It's kind of like, I feel like the coolest stuff about this only work in animation or in this case in a video game, so it's going to be hard to do. But
Yeah, that's another.
if they're willing to
That's
try.
another thing about just the Metal Gear games. I couldn't really fathom them working in the same way as a movie because a lot of the intriguing things about Metal Gear franchise involve how you play the game. Like, there's one villain in Metal Gear Solid 3 where essentially you can beat him like 4 different ways. You can either he's a sniper, so you either get in a sniping battle at him back, you like sneak around him, and like if you just like sneak up on him, he'll like basically just like surrender and like just give up there on the spot. Or you can start the boss fight, turn the game off for a week, come back, and he dies. He just dies of old age.
Wait, really?
Yes. You can just not fight. You can choose not to fight him if you wait like an amount of time. Like, I don't remember if it's a week in real time or a week like in the game. He just dies of old age.
Whoever wrote that mechanic is a genius and also crazy.
Yes. There's
Like,
also the villain in Metal Gear Solid 1 named Psycho Mantis, where he intimidates you by by making references to games that are on your memory card.
What?
Yes. Like for example, when it was ported to the GameCube, for example, like during one of the cutscenes, he like mentions, "So I see that you like Mario," like, or like, or mention something about Luigi's Mansion, or like just different games that are programmed. Like if this game is on the memory card, he'll like mention it, and like,
That's ridiculous.
and there's another point in that boss fight where he'll like do some move, and if you try to move the controller, Snake just won't move. So then, if you plug it into the player 2 slot, you can move it. like, like that. Like, how do you do stuff like that in a movie? Like, that's so cool.
That's
And like,
fourth
that's
wall.
stuff that games now don't do. Like, you can't do
No.
stuff like that now for some reason.
You don't even plug games in, so I don't know how you would even do that. Or
Well, like,
plug in controllers.
having a game essentially interact with other games that are on your memory card, like that's more games should do stuff like that. That's such a cool idea. I don't know.
Insane. But yeah, that's like a lot of like, yeah, I guess like fourth wall stuff. I don't guess
Yep.
that's not, yeah, that's not, games really do that kind of stuff anymore?
It,
Or
it,
ever really?
a lot of like indie games, or like is more so done in indie games, but like as far as like
Yeah.
AAA, big budget games, not really now, which is a little unfortunate. But
Still pretty cool
it
though.
would be I could easily see a Metal Gear movie being the kind of thing where like they bring in Psycho Mantis as a villain, but they don't understand why he worked as a villain in the games. You can't like his experience, because fighting him in the game was so personal to like how, because it is a game, you can do cool things with them, but also the games that you also played on the system were impacted the fight. You can't like do that in a movie. So I don't know. Well, we'll see if it actually makes sense or if it even happens. But yeah, could be fun. So you were when you were in, how many best way to do this?
Oh boy.
Nah, I'll just come out the gate with it. Did you watch iCarly growing up?
Yes, of course.
Okay, cool. Um, were you aware that yesterday it was announced that iCarly was getting a revival series with the original cast for CBS All Access?
No, it is not.
Yep.
Are you serious? Oh, wait, what? No. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, actually?
Yep.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I need to. Not that I don't believe you. You have no reason to lie to me, but I need to
How
see
can
it
I
for
make that
myself.
up?
I. Oh my god. This is happening.
Yeah.
This is happening. Miranda Cosgrove. They're all coming back. Oh, dude.
So
This
far,
is
Jeanette
crazy.
McCurdy hasn't been confirmed, but
They'll just say she's in jail. It's fine.
yeah, yeah.
It would honestly be funny. But no, that'd be crazy.
Hmm.
Dude, this is huge. I'm a little salty it's not Drake and Josh, but I will take this 100%.
I have very mixed feelings about iCarly. I think iCarly is one of the most average shows there is.
Really?
It's good. Like, essentially, growing up, I would always pit new Disney Channel or Nickelodeon live action shows against iCarly. It's like, if you're at least as good as iCarly, you're fine. If you're worse than iCarly, you're very bad. Like iCarly is just funny enough. The characters are just likable enough. These situations are enjoyable enough where I'm like, I'll gladly watch this. But it's not like fantastic, That's my opinion anyway. It's not like Drake and Josh level of like actually memorable, actually enjoyable, like actually like it doesn't really stand the test of time.
I don't. For me, iCarly's always kind of had that like Legend of Korra little sibling to like Drake and Josh and Avatar. You know what
that's
I'm
fair.
saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not bad, but because it's kind of the same kind of show, just not done as well, it kind of just it feels that. But I've always liked it. Like it is good.
Yeah.
but
I
it's
do
not great.
I do think that a revival show, if they still do iCarly, like they still do iCarly stuff in the show, it could actually
That
be
would be kind
pretty
of cool,
interesting now because
right?
I remember back in on iCarly in like 2008 or 9, they had a whole episode dedicated to the fact that they had an episode of their show reach 1 million views, and like that was a
Mm.
huge deal back then for a show on a website like YouTube to make 1 million views, which is
And like
nothing
now,
now.
you get a million views of watching paint dry now.
Yeah, like imagine iCarly trying to like
Get a
do
billion.
like Twitch stream or like do like a variety show on YouTube or like have him actually be on YouTube. Like I don't know, it would definitely be different, but I think just the way the internet has evolved since that show came into existence, I think it could be very interesting seeing how they modernize it.
Yeah. And it is very cool because like at the time, yeah, iCarly was kind of like it's kind of like, are you looking back? It's kind of like a pioneer in terms of like the internet and like web shows and stuff. And like now, between YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and like all this other stuff going
Mm-hmm.
on, this is pretty much what everybody's doing.
Yeah,
So like, if they did a thing where it was like iCarly was like the front runner for everything going on now, I think that'd be a really cool idea.
yeah. Like I don't even. I don't want to speculate on how they're gonna like bring all the cast back together because it's probably not gonna be done well. Like with Fuller House, they just kind of showed back up.
Showed up. Yeah.
But I, as long as like in at least a similar set with a similar vibe, like I think it could work.
Yeah, I think it'll be very much like, now Spencer lives with Carly because, maybe the art thing didn't work out or Carly's famous or like
Yeah.
whatever, who cares?
What'd
And
she do at the end of the show to make her leave?
I think she went with her dad or something, which their dad was like always an off-screen character who was like a overseas as a
Yeah.
soldier, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I think she moved with him eventually because he came back,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like, I don't know. I don't remember. They weren't like, I think it was like, I don't know if they graduated or not. I don't remember the
I don't
ending,
remember
but,
either.
but that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But they could easily just write whatever. I don't think most people remember how that ended anyway,
Yeah.
so. Be like, oh, we're back. As long as Spencer's still like, like for no reason make stuff on fire.
Mm,
I also like that.
has his weird socks, like whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And all his friends, who their names is what their job is.
Hmm.
That's like, I always thought that was funny.
And we need more Gibby. We need more Gibby.
I like how Gibby went from just a joke to literally like Shaggy. Like he's ridiculous and like,
I feel like he's one of those characters that like as the show went on, he became more of a main character, and he kind of lost what made his character so good because before he was just that weird kid that like sometimes injected himself into different scenes or like other scenes that kind of happened around him. Then
mm-hmm.
when he became a main character, he stopped like being the weirdo. He like had other extrinsic in weirdness about him. I can't think of words right now. Had like other things about him that like were weird in other ways, but they didn't work as well. Like he had this whole thing of
Mm-hmm.
like him having like this head of himself that he would carry around,
Yeah, that was weird.
and it didn't work.
And he had that little brother looked exactly like him, which I was
Yeah,
like, that's
weird.
kind of crazy.
Like yeah, I hope if Gibby does come back, he becomes more like earlier seasons of Gibby. Like
Yeah, it just kind of shows up, says Gibby, does something ridiculous,
yeah,
and then leaves.
because like in the modern era of YouTube and TikTok, a character like early season Gibby could easily just be like a internet personality, and that's like
Yes.
that could easily work.
Yeah, I mean, there are a ton of people on YouTube who like like there are guys who like all their videos are less than 30 seconds. They're just random clips of crap
Yeah.
doing weird stuff with a personality, and they get millions of subscribers. It's like
Mm,
that is perfect.
Yeah. So I think it very easily could be at least interesting to watch. I'm not excited about it being on CBS All Access because which will actually be soon rebranded to Paramount Plus. Because
Yeah, no, that ain't happening. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not getting that. I'll find a way to watch it, but I'm not getting Paramount Plus just to watch
No,
iCarly.
Paramount Plus. Is everyone just getting a streaming service? Like,
Yes,
this is crazy,
yes,
dude.
they are.
Okay, what's even on there?
I know the new Star Trek stuff is on there. I'm not sure what else, honestly.
I look up what to watch on Paramount Plus, and all it says is iCarly's coming.
Wow.
I'm like, that is not a good sign. That is not a good.
Okay,
Oh
sure.
man.
So one last little bit of news. Um, so I know back the episode right after Halloween, I mentioned that the Charlie Brown holiday specials were going to be exclusive to Apple TV Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out that PBS actually struck a deal with them to air the Charlie Brown specials on PBS. So the Thanksgiving one
On
happened,
regular TV.
was there, and now on Christmas, PBS will show it ad free on Christmas Day on PBS.
Nice.
Yep.
Way to go, PBS.
Yeah.
They're the hero that we needed.
That's just a feel good ending to that story. Like, hopefully it'll stick around like that. Hopefully, next Halloween, next Christmas, whatever, it'll just still be actually streaming, or at least not streaming, actually be airing on TV somewhere, whether it's PBS, whether it's back to ABC or whatever, as long as it's on TV somewhere, we can all watch it collectively together at the same time. It's great.
Yeah, and that's good because and ad free, no less.
Yeah.
And these days, anything not on like Netflix is like, even dude. I was even watching Hulu yesterday.
Oh my
2 minute ads, multiple 2 minute ads. I was like, this is not okay.
I really like Bob's Burgers. I want to watch Bob's Burgers, but they play the same 3 ads every single commercial break.
They do. It's so bad. I was literally like upset. Like I was like, I might just not watch it anymore because I am upset.
At least for the Hulu original stuff, like the new Animaniacs, which if you haven't seen the new Animaniacs, I highly recommend it.
Okay, it looked good. We saw the ad for that, so we were rather like, we might need to watch
that. Show is, even if you haven't seen the old Animaniacs, I think it is very good.
All right.
There were no ads on Animaniacs since it is a Hulu exclusive show. So at least there's that. At least there's that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Oh, is there? I think that's all I got. Is there
Sorry.
Anything else?
Sorry.
Anything else?
No, I don't know. I just that's pretty much it. I just wanted to say that was crazy because like. Okay, so earlier this year, me and my friends had a discussion because one of my best friends, she's got Hulu without ads, which is like I think it's like $5 more.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not gonna pay $5 more. The ads aren't that bad, and it feels like ever since I said that, the ads have just been getting worse.
Yep. You start noticing
like
them more.
Right? It's like because it used to be like okay, maybe like it was like a 30-second, a couple 60 seconds, and like something like that. Then it's like okay, 90 seconds, okay, and then like 2 minutes. I was like, all right, now we have crossed the line.
Yeah, like especially after watching The Mandalorian every week, with no ads.
Yeah, no
like
ads.
Sit down,
nothing.
watch a good show, uninterrupted. Like it's just so solid and good.
Yeah. And really, if I think about it, I'm like, I think Hulu's the only one really has ads. Because, like, Amazon Prime, I don't think really has. I mean, they have ads at the beginning, but not, like, during the show.
Other than, like, YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, YouTube has ads, but they're not. They did for a little bit have those 30-second unskippable ads. That was a sin. But.
They've started.
I mean, they've kind of chilled out from that.
A lot more of, like. I've been getting a lot of, like, 40-minute. like workout regime ads or like dating guru ads or just like random stuff like that. They're like 40 minutes long. Like I actually sat through one of them one time just to see where it, and like at the very end of the ad, it's like click down below to find out more about this. Like, they don't actually end up telling you the like they spend that entire 40 minutes going over like dancing around what they're actually talking about.
Right?
It's like what?
Like we spent this entire time potentially talking about what we were gonna talk about.
Yeah.
Like what is that?
Like now I'm just mad. I'm not gonna click on it.
It's out of principle.
But yeah, I usually skip those. So at least it's not 40 minutes unskippable ad. That would just be
Oh, okay, no, okay. At that point, I'm turning it off. Like that's terrible.
yeah. Netflix obviously doesn't. Disney Plus doesn't. I assume HBO Max doesn't.
I don't think.
Oh no, obviously because HBO Max doesn't have ads anyway. Like even the
Yeah,
channel doesn't.
I don't think so. So
CBS probably does. I have a feeling CBS All Access has ads.
I highly feel like they do. It's probably for their own product, honestly. Honestly, I feel like they definitely do. But
Yeah.
I don't know, but we'll have to see. I mean, all these streaming services, I mean, I don't know. I understand TV's basically dead, other than like news and sports, but like still.
Hopefully, in the future, there will be something similar to Verve, which Verve is, let me think, Boomerang, Crunchyroll, Rooster Teeth, Shudder, and like a couple of other like kind of minor but still like stuff that you like, more like nerdy stuff that you want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
All that together for like $10 a month. I mean,
That is
like
awesome.
it's a better deal than getting them all together, all at the same time.
Right, like bundles.
Yeah, if we got like, if the networks could just work together for half a second and be like, okay, because obviously we already have the Disney and Hulu and ESPN, but that's all owned by Disney, so that doesn't count. If we could just be like, okay, we got the Netflix, HBO Max, and Disney Plus subscription, like all that for like, even if it was like $20, I think I would go for it. That's like not awful.
No, not really. I would probably go for that too.
Yeah.
And then just having it all, and just having it all together
Mm.
just makes it that much easier. Cause and that's so nice because if you just have one thing, but he has multiple, I don't know, people just like bundles.
Yeah. Like,
They
I
really
don't
do.
think they'll ever do that. I don't think any of these companies will ever get off their high horse, but like Paramount Plus is not gonna get much traction
No.
otherwise.
That's what I'm saying. The people who are not, it's not working for, need to get bundles because it's like Showtime. No one wants Showtime, but if you give it to me anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have it.
Yeah.
So there's a chance I'll
Like
use it.
Peacock, I know there's the free version, but I'm not gonna buy the non-ad Peacock just to watch The Office. It's not happening.
Right?
But if you gave me Peacock and Paramount Plus and like Apple TV Plus or some combination of stuff like that, sure, why not?
Yeah. Then it's like, okay, I'll think about doing that. It's a good idea. But you've gotta sell that though. It's like you can't by themselves they aren't worth it.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything else you want to bring up or discuss?
That's all I've got.
Okay. And with that, we'll see you all next time.
Take care, everybody.